Hello students, myself Kalpana Singh, your biology teacher. As you know, in the previous class or in the previous video, we have taken the topic tissue, that is the second chapter of class 9, and in that part, in that chapter tissue, I was explaining the plant tissue. Today I'll explain the second section of that chapter, that is the animal tissue. Class, this chapter is very important from the examination point of view, and lot of small questions has been asked from this chapter as per the CBSE schedule or what they have the norms. Now the animal tissue, today we'll discuss this. So again, animal tissue is of 4 types. First is epithelial tissue, next connective tissue, the third muscular tissue, and the fourth nervous tissue. So first we'll move to the first animal tissue, that is called epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue, it is actually provide the covering to the whole body organs outside the body and inside the body also. So epithelial tissue actually provide protection to the body. I mean, if you are talking about humans, this skin is actually epithelial tissue, and inside the organs we have, whether it is liver, stomach, kidney, every organ has a outer covering of the skin, and that is made up of epithelial tissue. Now inside the body or outside the body, main function is to provide protection to the body from the microbes or the infections, right? Now epithelial tissue divided into 3 types of epithelial tissue. The first is squamous epithelium, the second is columnar epithelium, and the third one is cuboidal epithelium. So first, squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelium again divided into simple squamous epithelium tissue and stratified squamous epithelium tissue. There is a close link between both these types of the squamous epithelium. Simple squamous epithelium, actually it is made up of single layer of cells. Now, if you see this diagram, this is the diagram that shows the simple squamous epithelium. Here we see the single layer of the cells that, and each and every cell contains nucleus. Now these cells are like tiles. They are fixed one to another and there is no intercellular space. So simple squamous epithelium, it is made up of single layer of cell. And now where simple squamous epithelium found? It is found in the blood vessels, it is found in the alveoli. What is alveoli? If you remember, these are the sac-like structure present in the millions of number inside the every lung. So it is present in the blood vessel and alveoli. Class students, this is very important in this chapter. You have to know where the particular tissue present in the body, whether it is in the plant body or whether it is in the animal body. You have to concentrate on this thing. Lot of question has been asked from it and this is sure. Now, if we will come to the stratified squamous epithelium, it is like simple squamous epithelium. What is the main difference? Simple squamous epithelium tissue is made up of single layer, whereas this is the example of stratified squamous epithelium. It has the one layer at the bottom, suppose, then the second, the third, the fourth, fifth, sixth, some numerous layers. It is made of layers of the epithelial tissue. That is why it is called stratified squamous epithelium. Now question has been asked, where it is found in the body? So it is present in the lining of the mouth, that is your buccal cavity, and the esophagus. Now what is esophagus? That is the food pipe, and of course in the skin also. Our skin is 3 layered, so triploblastic. So it is present in the inner lining of the mouth, in the esophagus and in the skin. Very important. So this you have to learn properly. Now next we'll come to the columnar epithelium. This is the next type of epithelial tissue. Columnar epithelium, column means what? Pillars. So it is like in the pillar form. Here you can see it is like in the pillar form. And another difference is that their nucleus lies at the base of the cell. Now what is the function of it? Small microvilli are present in over all these columns, and that is why it is called ciliated also. But it is not compulsory ki ciliated, it is always ciliated. It may be ciliated or it may not be ciliated. Here we are talking about the ciliated one. So microvilli are present in the, as appears to be like a cilia. And what is the function of these microvilli? These microvilli help in the absorption of the food. Now where the food absorbed? Everyone knows it is in the small intestine. So now question has been asked, where the columnar epithelium is present? So it is present in the inner lining of the stomach. Stomach may be in emulsification of the food is there by the contraction and relaxation of the stomach. As you know, we engulf the food in a complex form that has to be broken down to convert it into simpler form. Only then our body is able to absorb that. So inner lining of the stomach and in the intestine of the digestive system, this kind of columnar ciliated epithelium is present. Now the cuboidal epithelium, as the name denote, it is like cubes. So here you can see, this is the diagram that shows the cuboidal epithelium. Now cells are cubic in shape, cube-like, and again here also the nucleus lies at the base of the cell. So cuboidal cell, where it is found? It is found in the lining of the kidney tubule, that means inside the kidney, and where the ducts of the salivary and the sweat glands. We have glands that secrete sweat, and of course one more thing, salivary gland. Where it is found? Salivary gland, it is inside the mouth. That helps in the again digestion of the food because it secretes an enzyme that is called salivary amylase that break down the food here. So this is all about the epithelial tissue. The main function is to protect the body. Now squamous epithelium is divided into three types. Squamous epithelium, that further divided into two parts, simple squamous epithelium and the stratified squamous epithelium. Now number two is columnar, that is ciliated epithelium, and the third one is called the cuboidal epithelium. Now we'll move to the connective tissue. As the name shows, it shows the connection. So here we discuss so many type of the connective tissue like blood, bone, ligament, tendon, cartilage, adipose and areolar tissues. These all are the examples of connective tissue. The main two type of connective tissue are the blood and the bone. These are also the connective tissue. Now if you are talking about blood, the blood connects the whole body. It is the main circulatory fluid present in our body. Right? Now how the blood moves, it moves throughout the body to each and every cell with the help of the blood veins, capillaries and arteries. Now blood includes so many things. Blood have a plasma, colorless plasma, in which the RBC, WBC and the platelets are suspended in it. Now RBC, that is called the red blood cells, that helps in the transportation of the gas, oxygen and carbon dioxide. Now then WBC, that provides immunity to the body, and the last platelet, that helps in the coagulation of the blood, clotting of the blood. All the three types of the tissue that are the cells suspended in the blood are very, very important. Now after blood, we'll move to the bone. What is bone? Everyone knows. It makes the framework of our body. It makes the whole skeleton on which our body stand. I can walk, I can move my hand, I can run, I can sit. It is all because of the internal skeleton we have, that is made up of bone. Now bones are made up of calcium, main thing, and the phosphorus. Now after bone, and bone is very hard in its appearance. It cannot be bent. It has no flexibility. It's a very rigid and very hard structure, that is hardest structure that is present in a body. Now next is ligament. Now what is ligament? Ligament is the connective tissue that join bone to bone. Like this is the bone and this is the bone. So how it is joined? It is joined by a ligament. So ligament, the main function of ligament to join bone to bone. In short, this can be remembered like BBC. That means bone to bone connection. Like and whereas tendon is responsible for joining muscle to bone, right? So this movement of the wrist is because of the muscles. Here also muscles, muscles can also join to the bone, and bone is again joined to the bone. If two bones are joined together, it will definitely with the help of ligament. If one bone joined with the muscle, then tendon will be responsible for that. And in short, we can remember tendon like bone, muscle, connective tissue, PMC. This is in short to remember. This must be called BBC and this called BMC or MBC, whatever. Now next to the tendon is the cartilage, ear of pinna and the front part of your nose that we can move very easily with the help of our thumb or finger. It is all, is it bone? No, it is cartilage. Actually cartilage are called the soft bone that has the flexibility. Next to the cartilage is adipose tissue. Adipose tissues are the tissues that are responsible for the deposition of the fat. Where the fat is deposited in the body? In the adipose tissue. The last connective tissue is called areolar tissue. Areolar tissue is responsible to fill the spaces between the skin and muscle. That is its main function. So this is all about the connective tissue, the second part of the animal tissue. Now we'll move to the third, that is called muscular tissue. Now muscular tissue again divided into three main parts. First we divide the muscular tissue into two parts, voluntary muscles and the involuntary muscles, because we have to understand these terms also. Voluntary muscles are the muscles that can be controlled by ourselves. Ourself means with the brain. And involuntary muscles, totally opposite, that cannot be controlled by us or by the brain. So voluntary muscles are the skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles, as the name denote, it is present in the skeleton of the body, that is in the bones, and it has alternate bands, dark light bands, and because of the presence of such bands, it is also called striped muscles, right? So it is present in the bone section. This is the example of voluntary muscles. Now we'll come to the involuntary muscles. This is actually divided into two types of the muscular tissue. One is smooth muscle and another is cardiac muscle. Smooth muscle, it is very common and it is like very smooth and spindle-like in appearance. One more thing, it has a single nucleus. So smooth muscles are the involuntary muscles. Now next is cardiac muscle, very important. Why it is important? Because it is the hardest muscles present in our body. Why is it so hard? Because it has to work 24/7. It is not allowed to take a rest for a single second, because it supports the pumping of the blood with the heart. So it helps the heart. It present only in the heart. That is why it is the strongest muscle, because whether we are walking, whether we are running, whether we are talking, whether we are sleeping even, our heart keeps on working. It cannot rest for a single second. That it is all because of with the help of the cardiac muscle. So cardiac muscle is present in the heart only, and one sad point regarding the cardiac muscle is that no repair is possible in the cardiac muscle, because it cannot rest. We cannot replace any other muscle with that cardiac muscle. So no repair is present in this cardiac muscle. Now the last is the nervous tissue. Nervous tissue, all the nervous tissue, that is the tissues that are present in the brain only, and all type of the nervous tissues are called neurons. Students, this diagram of neuron is very important. It has been asked for the 2 or 3 marks. You have to draw this diagram and label it. It's very simple diagram that you can draw very easily. Main central part, that is the cellular part, that includes one nucleus, and they have the numerous branch-like structures that are called dendrites, and the longest part of the dendrite is called axon, that ends in the synaptic knobs or in the nerve endings. When the message that the brain receives or the neuron receives, that always in the form of electric impulse. Now this electric impulse receive or carry through these dendroids. Now these dendroids catch this message of the electric impulse, then it reaches to the cellular part, from the cellular part to the axon, and finally reaches to the nerve endings. Now at the nerve ending, another dendrites of the neuron is present. They are not attached to the nerve endings, they lie very close to each other. One chemical is secreted in between the space, that is called neurotransmitter, very important to remember. That neurotransmitter is the chemical by nature, and it helps in the continuation of the message from the muscle receives by your peripheral nervous system that reaches to your central nervous system, and when the brain analyze and then in return give message, then it has to be coordinated in such manner neuron to neuron, and nerve impulse goes back to a particular part to do that particular reaction. So this is all about neuron. So in short, animal tissue, four type of animal tissues we have: the epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. So this is all for today class, students. The next video that we'll be going to make, there I'll just pick the another topic on the nutrition, and that relate to class 10th. So thank you class, and please don't forget to subscribe and like this channel. Thank you students.